let's talk about Mad Max Fury Road. So, Fury Road is about Max as he tries to reluctantly assist Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron. Max is played by Tom Hardy, as he tries to assist her in bringing Morton Joe's sort of brides, kind of, to the Green Place, which is where Furiosa's from. Now, Morton Joe is actually played by the actor who played Toe Cutter in the original film, so that's kind of cool, and he unfortunately passed away in 2020, but I did think it was kind of cool that he brought the original villain's actor back. That was pretty neat. He being George Miller. And you want to know what, Tom Hardy, this isn't one of his best roles. I've seen him at his best. A lot of people have seen him at his best. A lot of people have seen him at his worst. This is somewhere in the middle. And I don't know. This film, I think, is elevated by certain performances. Charlize Theron, of course, is doing an amazing job with this film. Bringing probably the best performance to the franchise so far. And yeah, I think she did a good job. And I think Tom Hardy did his best. It's just that, I don't know, it just seems off. But there is actually some characterization somewhat with, I almost said characterization somewhat with Max. He has weird visions, and he goes from just wanting to get his car back to actually having a bit of a inkling of humanity, as he's like, you know what, I do kind of want to help these people get to where they're going. If I can get my car, that'd be nice. But he does sort of have a slow change of heart through this film, which is the most character arc I think he's ever had. The real highlight of this film is, of course, Charlize Theron as Furiosa, and I think she does a good job. Like I said, best performance of this entire franchise so far. And I can see why George Miller wanted to give this character her own spin-off film, and I'm actually very excited to see what that's like tomorrow. You will probably see that video in 2 days after this video, but tomorrow for me. And I'm excited to see that, because I did grow to like her. That being said, I think this film is mainly focused on the action, and the action and car stunts are really, really top-notch. You can tell that they spent a lot of money and time trying to figure out, okay, how do we make these cars seem rad as hell, and how do we make them really super neat? And yeah, and also, this is, I think, just from Fury Road, which is fine. I actually, I don't know what I'd rather, it being from Road Warrior or Fury Road. Speaking of Road Warrior, I heard in the introduction that, what's that guy's name? Whatever his name is, did for the Road Warrior, I guess, when it was on TV and they first put it on Blu-ray. He said that that Road Warrior is just one long chase. I don't know if I particularly agree with that. I feel like there's a lot of stops and starts in Road Warrior, and while I do love Road Warrior, there's most certainly some of that 80s, pacing that it has, and most certainly 70s pacing that it has, which I think hinders that fast-pacedness. You're not going to see a lot of movies from that era that are actually fast-paced. That's just how we made movies back then. That being said, this actually is just one long chase that I think is really good. It worried me having to return to this film when I realized, oh yeah, this movie was just kind of like storyboarded, and then there was a plot written around the storyboards, as has been talked about, I believe in interviews, and other reviewers have brought it up over time, that this movie was at first George Miller and a bunch of stunt guys and storyboard artists just at a table talking, and then it was eventually written. That being said, it actually is surprisingly well written considering what it is, which is a Mad Max film. So I don't want to harp on that too much. Like I said, good action, surprisingly good story, and I can easily see this becoming my #1 favorite Mad Max film over time as I watch it more. And one final note, I do wish Mel came back. He did really good, I think, not only acting, but in terms of action in Expendables 3, which is, by the way, my most watched review of this entire channel. It's got like 12,000 views. I'm really happy. If you're watching this and you discovered me through that video, thanks for watching. And of course, thanks for subscribing. It's really an honor, and I'm so appreciative of that video's success, and I have no idea what I did to earn that success, but I will sure as hell try to live up to whatever it is I did in my Expendables 3 review. But yeah, I do wish Mel came back. I feel like he probably could have done this film, you know, just based on, you know, Expendables 3, but who knows what conversation George Martin and George Miller and Mel Gibson had before a decision was possibly made to recast. And I did watch a little bit of the black and chrome version that is available in this collection, and I don't know, I feel like this movie, like what makes Mad Max Fury Road so distinctive and why it probably won best visual effects, why it was nominated for best director and best film back in the Oscars, was its visual style. It looks gorgeous both on Blu-ray and 4K, and the 4K actually does have some really nice crispness to the image, and we see a pregnant belly at some point where you could actually in 4K see the veins where you can't really see the veins of the woman's stomach on the Blu-ray. So I do recommend the 4K if you do not own this film already on 4K. But as I said in part 1, get the high octane collection. But yeah, no, I really did enjoy this film quite a bit. I feel like the black and chrome version just sort of takes away the color, what makes this film unique, but it's still basically the same film. And yeah, good story, especially for a Mad Max film, and good characterization, especially for a Mad Max film. This is, like I said, probably going to be my favorite one day. And that being said, can't wait to see you in the next part when we review Furiosa. Remember that God made you special. He loves you very much. I hope you have a very lovely day. I hope you have a very lovely week and a very lovely month, since this is almost the end of the month. And as always, the future belongs to the mad.